Let's do it. Welcome back, guys. I am here with Lena, finally. I've had so many people actually say on my story when I say, ask me a question, when is Lena coming back on? So this has been a long time coming, and I'm just so excited. We haven't sat down together since we were in Nashville together. I think that was the last time.
Oh, gosh.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I've been here for a year. How's that possible?
Well, we just see each other everywhere else.
Yeah, true.
She's not on camera, so hi.
Yes.
Like-
Welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Season 2.
Season 2, hello. But yeah, we haven't hopped on camera because we really do have a pretty wild time off camera, running around doing everything from shotgun training, which now has expanded to having gym dry fire sessions. As of this week,
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
We decided to run a half marathon last year.
Yeah. And a canyon run too. I have to specify that because there's no way that the road half marathon will be anything like that. There's no way.
Yeah, there was a lot of up and
Downs.
There were.
Gosh, how wild.
So we did all that
Yeah.
so that we could have something interesting to talk about now.
Yes. So speaking of, today's topic of conversation is competition shotgun, but not just like in a chill way, as in we are going to the World Shoot in Greece on the IPSC ladies modified team. This chick somehow got me to do this, and not really. I feel like it was my year of yes too. That helped. I mean, a couple things. But not just that. We will have a part 2 because for so long, I've wanted to sit down with Lena and go over some just epic fight scenes that women have in movies. Think Ballerina, think Alice from Resident Evil, like just really cool fight scenes, including guns, because we've watched a few movies and like laughed at gun usage. And
we fought a little bit.
yes,
She took me to jujitsu.
she did. And she
I
terrified me. I mean, did so well. You did so, no.
my lack of ability to withhold when we're in a face-to-face competition. Like, I am slightly competitive.
Are you? That makes sense.
A little
But
bit.
you weren't unsafe, let me be clear.
Oh,
just very.
I tried to be very safe. It's just so fun. How can you
Yeah.
not just like want to run around? I don't know. I think any gym, like when you walk in, and you just hit like some padded mats and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's do something awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such a fun place to go.
And you didn't just come to, so to give you a picture of this before we get back to.
Yeah, we're
the
talking
thing-
about shotgun.
Yes, but we got to talk about this because it will pertain to part 2, which will be those reactions, us reacting to these really cool fight scenes. Lena came to a class where we did not just like learning a new technique, but we did specific training with an increase in resistance. So think cooperative and competitive training, increasing that competitive threshold over time. So we really got to work together. We learned it from the beginning. There was one technique though, I just could not get it. Like the first part of like switching your body around,
Oh, yeah.
pivoting.
Yeah, you just wanted to put your head on this shoulder and it needed to go on this shoulder.
Yeah.
You drived it. But it was only on one side.
Yeah. And I just like lost my mind. Anyway, but it was so much fun. I was very impressed by the courage you brought because a lot of women getting into, not that you've never done it before, but you are still new to it when you're coming back in that aspect.
And I did it for like 3 months casually many, many years ago.
Can you casually do jiu-jitsu? I guess you can, but it's still so hard. But the fact that you came back and you did a class like that where we did multiple levels of specific training, I was impressed. It was a lot of fun. So you can speak to a lot of this because you know body positioning better than so many because of shooting. So like that applied so well over into jiu-jitsu, and like you can see fight scenes and assess them way better than like your person who has never
I'm
trained.
not just this silly girl. I've watched people fight.
Yeah, and you're like a great shot. So
I do like to understand how things work. And jiu-jitsu is such a fun place to go and face off. And I know we're going to talk about competitive shooting, but the time that I did jump into jiu-jitsu, it was because I wanted to have that face-to-face competition that you don't get in shotgun shooting, in USPSA handgun shooting, in any type of shooting sports that are readily available, because there's no your other competitors somewhere else. Even if they're on the same squad in the same rotation, like they're back there. And there's just something about looking at your competition in the eye and then be sort of able to go. It's so good. I love it. It's so fun.
Dude, but that's not like...
It's so
many people are not like that, though. It's so cool to hear this because it's just like so many people see that and they're like, that's uncomfortable and I'm never going to touch that. But you chase that. Like, there's a spectrum, man. Yeah. You're on that.
Well, yeah, it's so fun to chase it. And it's such a thing to face off against someone and such a challenge to take on. And now watch me transition into shotgun shooting. I challenged her last year to try shotgun shooting because she hadn't done it. And I was like, man, if there's anybody that was built for some shotgun shooting,
Stop it.
be her. Like, and coming from such a fighting background and having taken so many hits and broken your nose again and again and again, been like, you know what? I still freaking love this. I want to go fight. Who's going this evening to go roll around in the ground and just all in the ground, like, and fight? And it's not me. You. And then I was like, all you gotta do is find a shotgun. You know, it's a known impact again and again and again, and it's about fine-tuning yourself to absorb this impact and overpower it. And in our dry fire today, I talked about like aggression and like grace and like being delicate while being just as ferocious as you can. And shotgun is this place where you get to play with both. Yeah. And because you have your fighting past, I say shotgun shooting is a fight, you know, like it's going to beat you up or you're going to control it and you get to learn how to wield it. So you really were like someone perfect for shotgun shooting. So then I extended a challenge and you stepped up to it and you're like, okay, sure, I'll shoot a shotgun. And then she shoots a shotgun and she's like, sure, I'll go to some qualifier world shoot matches. I've never shot a match.
This is very
shotgun in my life. And you're like, okay. I've never shot an aerial clay and crushed it again and again. And I was like, let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, dude. I think that was my favorite part because, like, especially the first qualifier, I was like, I almost had no expectations of myself. Even though, like, looking back,
how could you have any?
That's fair. That's fair.
Where would you pull them from? You hadn't even watched videos of people shooting shotgun matches.
Not really.
Exactly.
Our last championship.
So it's perfect. You had no expectations. You just showed up and you shot. So and that's why it went. And it was like, yeah, let's go.
So much fun. Watching you and Jayleese react to my aerial clays is like a core memory. Like them being like, nice, you got all of them. And me being like, I got all, because like.
And me and every stage were like, I don't know.
And it was like rainy.
Yeah.
It was such an interesting match.
It was like. It would be like if you led me to some jujitsu world shoot qualifying thing and I somehow flip-flop my way.
You submit people left and right and you're like, did it work? And like they did tap and you're like, okay.
You're like, I don't know, I just did this thing with their arm and they went and they tapped. Is that good? And we're like, yeah, that's really
so good. So funny. Dude, oh my gosh. But also like you,
hilarious.
Just to throw credit back where it's due, dude, like you were so good to like help me understand the stage to the point where there's so much. Oh my gosh, sorry. I have 4 places I want to go with this, but I want to step back because USPSA and pistol competition, I feel like is a good connecting space here. You know how you like walk through stages and you know where you need to mag change, but you can have like a souped up mag with like 24 rounds. Shotgun is not that way. What was the tube capacity that we ran at that match? Do you happen to remember?
It was 14.
Okay.
Because that's the most that you can have. It was either that or we didn't have the right gear and it was only 12.
I feel like it was.
It might have been that because we both, hopped into a division that neither of us had ever competed in before in the world of shotgun, which is called modified. So it's a tube-fed shotgun with a red dot. You're allowed porting, and you're allowed to start with 14 rounds in your gun. And that's opposed to what I've done in the past, which was standard, which is also a tube-fed gun, no optic, no porting, and you can only start with 9 rounds. So it's like the production, if you're relating it to USPSA handgun. I did that in shotguns. And now we're doing like the...
Not open.
No, but see, because there is open in shotgun, this would be like if in USPSA they had like a poor man open, where we didn't have to have major power factor to play.
That's
and it
so
could
funny.
be just...
That's a good point.
limited optics guns, but ported.
Yeah.
That would be the division. It would be a super fun one. USPSA, please make a poor man's open so that we don't have to try and burden the load of purchasing 38 super ammo. Anyway, that's great. Okay.
No, it's
Back
great.
to modified. That's the division that we're in.
Yes.
And it's been a journey.
Oh my gosh.
Our gear is just now
Coming together.
looking like it, because
You've had a gear journey. Tell me something for listeners that don't understand an IPSC World Shoot, what it takes to go to a World Shoot. Before we dive back into the gear convo, to get everyone connected here, could you explain that whole process to me? And I will learn some things along the way as well.
Yes. Hello everyone. We're gonna start where would make sense in talking about World
Oh
Shoot.
gosh, I'm sorry, but first, please, can you tell your shotgun journey story? You know, when you introduce yourself, you have so many sides to you. So like this episode is shotgun. So okay, actually, I changed my mind.
Reverse.
Tell us your
Snatch
shotgun.
it. Put it back.
I'm an
What are we gonna
incredible
do?
host. I
Let's
got
go.
this. Are you ready?
3, 2, 1.
I planned
What is
this.
my question?
I would love to know your shotgun history specifically and how that has related to your World Shoot and your titles. And then we will dive in if you think that's a good order. It might be more impressive to say what it takes, and then you choose. Not your
Hi, I'm Lena. I shoot shotgun.
so freaking funny. Oh my god.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Well, let's go back to young Lena and her career. I have attended every IPSC Shotgun World Shoot that has ever been held.
Oh my goodness.
So IPSC World Shoots are within the action shooting what we would consider our Olympics. It's the highest, largest ranking match that we have to go to qualifier matches to establish scores that we then get chosen to go on teams to go and represent our country there. So IPSC World Shoots, it's what we kind of strive for. It's our world stage. The very first Shotgun World Shoot was in 2012 in Hungary, and I went there and just about passed out on every stage. I was just talking with my mom about it, who was just here and got to do some shotgun training with me while I was here, and we were laughing in the car. I was like, you remember when I didn't know how to shoot in a low position and I caused a malfunction every single time at World Shoot? And she was like, yep. And then I told you to do this thing and it stopped. But there was like 4 days of malfunctions that I was inducing because I was so inexperienced with just like, World Shoot, here I come, gonna do my darndest. And I won. And I won the shoot-off, and I'll never forget that. Shoot-offs are my favorite. It's where the top
you get
the division. Yeah, you finally get to look them in the eyes.
So much sense.
And
Okay.
then you get to face your targets. We don't, it's not a duel, but it is a shoot-off. And then we race against, they're my favorite. And I had this lady try to fake me out a few times on the line, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. She would just like get ready, and then I would get ready, and then she would relax, and then the people would have to be like, no, you know, like stand down, and we did this like a few times just because they just want to mess with you, but it's good.
That's unbelievable.
It's good to mess with.
Yes. She's
My favorite. It's the game. Everybody takes this so serious, but it's like it's the game. It's so fun.
Absolutely.
So that was in Hungary. I won the golden individual and the shoot off. We didn't have a team. I was like one of like a handful of ladies that went, and my mom disqualified. She was shooting open.
No way.
She got disqualified on the first or second day, and after we gave her space because she was mad, we woke up the next morning and she was gone. And we were just like, and I walk in the other room, Dad's in the kitchen. He's like, she'll come back.
So
And then before we had to go to the range again, she came back and she was like, all right, I have adjusted my attitude. And she then became my coach and coached me through the rest of my world shoot, which was such a complete game changer because I was new. This isn't like I needed a world champion, my mom, to step up and be willing to show me the ropes. And because of her coaching through that, like there's no way I would have made it without her, because the first stage, I remember it, those little yard gooses, the geese, the little plastic geese people put in their yards.
Yeah.
There's a stage, the first stage of the whole world, she decorated with them in this little tiny white picket fence, and they like haunt my nightmares because on that stage I couldn't get a shell in my gun to save my life. I was like, I've never loaded in my life here trying to like shoot. I couldn't even breathe. Like the amount of emotions that washed over me on my first stage were insane. And that's why I like it so much, because nothing just like, blah, blah, wham bams, like a world shoot. And then if you get to qualify for the shoot off, then you get to look your people in the eye and shoot off against.
How do you qualify for a shoot off? You have to be like
You
first.
have to be in the top of your division.
Oh.
So they usually pull like the top 8. So they'll pull like the top 8 women's modified competitors from the overalls, and we'll all go to a shoot off.
Actually, I'm I'm even more motivated now. That's crazy. That's really so cool.
And then the next one was, I think, in Italy. And I had a repeat, but only I had a team that time. So we also took the women's standard gold on the team. And then France was the same. And then Thailand.
Yeah.
And now we go to Greece.
Crazy.
And I switched divisions just because I went to Thailand. That was the last Shotgun World Shoot, which was, they did a wonderful job. Freaking Greece, you better step up. Thailand showed out on their stages. I remember them being fun and challenging, and they were all themed because you shoot 30 stages, and it was like you show up to everyone and you're like, here's a little slice of Thailand on the stage. It was so fun.
Oh my goodness.
And I showed up and there was this new division modified. People running all the things I said, porting, optics, more rounds. Like that's everything that I had been dreaming of in standard. Yeah. So then I hopped over.
How exciting.
Yeah.
And
then
next,
I parted ways with Mossberg the beginning of this year, which then opened me up to exploring different shotgun platforms that I hadn't in the world of competing. I've put a gazillion rounds through a Mossberg JM 930 and 940, but I wanted something different. And when I look into IPSC sports and mainly people that work on them aftermarket, Benelli and Beretta were the two that really came to the surface, because those are the only two that people seem to do all the accessories for, the port work, the porting, the everything. So my cousin, Aaron Hayes of Hayes Custom Guns, he builds 3-gun shotguns on the Benelli M2 Speed platform. And I went down there last year and built my 2011s, our engagement guns. And I took one of his shotguns out and tested it. And I was like, cool, I'll take 2.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and he got them ported for me. He did trigger work on them, some loading work on the loading port side.
And then you
Put an
some work
optic
to it.
on it, and I've now bedazzled it because I have this desire for my guns to be slightly obnoxious because gosh, like I just want to stare him in the eye, and then I would be like, I'm gonna beat you with this glittery shotgun.
It is
Also,
glittery.
if you beat me,
Love it.
heck yeah. Like, I'm gonna be hard to beat. And if you beat me, I'm gonna, like, good on you. Let's go.
Yeah.
But if you were, like, insulted by my glitteriness, I hope that me beating you somehow just hurts it a little more. Like,
Absolutely would.
the black sandpaper
Yeah.
glitter could just get in the cut a little bit more.
Dude, that reminds me, Joey Sauerland, one of the things he did, he like wanted to become GM because he wanted to roll up to his local clubs playing like Britney Spears and Katy Perry, all while jumping out and then like winning the match. That was like one of his, or he just like, wanted to win the match for that reason. That's so funny.
Yeah.
That must be, that's a thing. I wonder what my thing should be. Ooh, my thing was that first qualifier where I was actually doing okay. And I was like, yeah, well, I've only done this for like a month now. And then like a few people were not happy about that. That was an interesting, did I spit on you? Is that, oh, okay, I thought I spit on you. But I freaking love that. And then you've bedazzled, like, your chapstick right now is bedazzled.
New hobby.
New hobby.
None of my guns or optics are safe.
That's
Because
so awesome.
why not? Life's too short to have boring guns.
Yes, you and
And I
Jamie
could
are so
totally
stylish.
do a legit nice gun, but that wouldn't be as fun.
No.
Gun crafts are best crafts.
Yeah, dude. So I'm so excited for you to bring that. You're gonna blow them away. Like,
And I have to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, then I'm just a silly girl with a sparkly shotgun. We're allowed to say that about me, but it's not allowed to be true.
totally fair. All my shit's gonna be black, but that's
And blue.
and blue. I'm going for blue.
And less silver now.
Gosh, my gosh. Yeah, at this last match we went to, it was a 12-stage single day shotgun championship in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. Did I miss anything there?
No,
Jeez.
all accurate.
And on the very last stage, on the very last charging handle pull, which I had my backup, my very cute
Very
silver
prototype, very found in my garage and was like, oh, you look at this. And someone was like, oh, that's really cool. And I was like, sure, why would this not be a good idea? And the idea of it shearing off hadn't come to mind.
Why? Oh, because the material probably wasn't like a
I ran one of them it's still in my other gun.
weird. Yeah, you had a silver charging handle. It's all coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So I really thought this was just, that. But in fact, it was not.
it was not.
Which I saw this morning at Dry Fire. You still don't have to charge it.
I don't. Can you just shove it back in?
No, I think it sheared off with a piece inside the bolt. So we're gonna need to take it apart, roll the bolt apart, and then probably like drill, remove a bolt.
I'm just gonna use the air compressor. Like hold it upside down and just hit it. Air compress it. Hit it. Just get it out. Oh my god. You're gonna hear me in your garage like
it's
it's okay.
brake parts cleaner and air compressor can get anything out of my gun,
It
right?
kind of can, right? I'm gonna do my damnedest, dude. That's so funny. I guess it hasn't occurred to me that shearing off means some parts of it are still in my freaking thing, and I jammed it full of freaking dummy rounds. That's gonna be so fun, guys. This is what you've had to put up with. Yes, true. I can still take him out. It's gonna be fantastic. That's so funny. Okay, so thank you for sharing your background there. I learned.
Yeah.
Yes, you were gonna say something. Go for it. Flow. Let it flow.
I was supposed to tell you more about IPSC. I feel like I told you everything about IPSC. It's the biggest competition. You do qualifiers. You're selected for a team. We were selected to the women's modified team. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Us, along with Heather Miller and Ursula Williams, will be representing on the U.S. modified side. We go in September. It's 30 stages over 5 days with an opening ceremony and a shoot off at the end. We'll shoot a lot of shotgun.
Yes. I'm thinking
probably like 80% of it's bird shot, if not more, with the rest being buckshot and slugs.
Okay.
And none of it's mixed. We shoot slugs on paper, they're scored. We shoot buckshot on paper for score, and sometimes on steel that knock over. And the rest of what we do is a lot of knockover steel and a mixture of aerial clays. It's a lot of dynamic shooting. We're doing a lot of running around, a lot of loading work. IPSC Shotgun is very unpopular in the US, but very much so more popular overseas. And a lot of times what I have seen is that shotgun is one of the last platforms that countries lose their rights to. Seems to be a gun that a lot of people can more readily own compared to handgun and rifle in more restricted countries. So shotgun competitions are more popular there, I think, for that reason. And because it's really fun. And the US just doesn't like it. It's a lot of work to set up a match because it's so much falling steel.
Yeah.
So people a lot of times don't have the facility or the resources or people with enough shotgun gear to show up and make it worth their time. But we're gonna change that. Maybe.
Yes.
Probably not. But we'll go overseas, and luckily we've got a couple matches over here that are being put on to help pretty much everybody get prepared for the World Shoot in Greece. So thank y'all for putting on the matches if you are actively doing so, because it's a sport that we both enjoy and it's hard to find.
Absolutely. Oh gosh, it's so much fun. This episode of She Shield is brought to you by Right to Bear. You've probably heard me say that self-defense is more than simply carrying a firearm. It's awareness, avoidance, and preparation for anything that is to come your way. And that's why I'm partnering with Right to Bear. They stand by defenders like you and me. You'll receive benefits like expert witness support, psychological care, gun replacement, and even protection for other lawful self-defense tools like pepper spray, knives, and even your hands and feet if you have to use them in a struggle. What sets Right to Bear apart is that they are dedicated to education and immediate legal response. In case you do ever have to protect yourself, you have access to a 24/7 attorney-answered emergency hotline so that you are never alone. What I love most, though, has to be the personal connection that Right to Bear will have with you as a member. For example, Frank, the president of Right to Bear, will give you a personal phone call when he hears about a claim being filed. That level of care in the industry is extremely rare. If you carry, train, and believe in thinking ahead to protect yourself and your family, consider getting a membership with Right to Bear. If you use my code FIT4FIA10, you will get 10% off your membership, and the link to access this and to learn more is located in the show notes of this episode, which are the notes below the title. Protecting yourself and your family should not leave you defenseless afterwards. Stay safe and stay vigilant with Right to Bear. And you're going to a practice match in Greece.
I am.
Yeah.
The end of June, I signed up for a test match at the World Shoot facility in Greece. So that way I can go over and get to know the range. I've never been able to do so. What's kind of crazy is this is my first year. This is my first World Shoot going as a non-sponsored shooter. And I will have never been more prepared and more singularly focused for a World Shoot for this amount of time. I think in past, I've gone off for up to 2 months to train at every day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to train this and I'm going to go and do this. And before then it was just like a running log of continual training, and a World Shoot being just another match on a list of 20 to 30 a year. So it was just another one.
Yeah.
But because I've chosen to make shotgun and competitive shooting for reasons outside of providing for myself, it's made me have to figure out what I want to do it for.
Yeah.
And it's made chasing it just so exciting. So the World Shoot, this is the first time I will have gone to one at a prep match at the location. We now have the dry fire at the gym, which is
dope setup.
freaking what I've been dreaming of. as of this week, we'll finally have our range memberships. So for I don't know how long, Mia and Jeremy haven't had regular access to a range, which is really throwing a giant wrench in things. But it also, everything just comes in the time that it's meant to. And we were meant to be focusing on other things besides training, even though in my head, I thought that I was supposed to be doing this a long time ago.
Right.
But it's ramping up and coming together as it's meant to.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
It's so exciting. I'm so glad you're on this journey of only representing yourself. And it's been really cool to watch you only work with brands that align with your mission. And I don't know, I love to tell people a little bit of the behind the scenes when it comes to working with you and how diligent you are aligning yourself with brands and making sure you meet the team, having a very intentional conversation with them about, what their goals are. And if that aligns with your mission, that's when you start thinking about, okay, how can we collaborate? Where does the business come in? But with that said, you're going to represent yourself. And I'm so freaking psyched for you. Holy crap.
Also, shooting costs so much money.
It's oh my God. It's so expensive.
So much. I could have had such a nice car. But instead,
you could have built a property, bro.
I chose to go to the World Shoot and strive to be the best female shotgun shooter in the action shooting source in the world, which is,
gosh.
Really,
you know what's insane?
Really.
When I watched you and Jeremy shoot that one match that I came and helped film on, sorry, just not gonna think back to that. Jesus. Anyway, I know so much more
before
now.
you were a shotgunner.
Or knew how to use my camera. Anyway, sorry, moving on. So
we were all winging a lot.
We were winging. So thanks for believing in me, Jesus. I think about that so much. Okay, moving on. So we have to tell the B story. I love to tell the B story, but what I was originally going to say before I forget. People don't get it. I know because I didn't get it. How much goes behind shotgun technique? Like, I think with a pistol, right? It's so much smaller. You're using like a much more like micro aspect of your motor control compared to like the gross use of your like body altogether. And so I think I used to look at pistol and think, okay, that's going to be way harder, which theoretically, yes, you have less points of contact. There are a lot of reasons where you could argue that it's easier or harder. But shotgun, you have to get behind that thing. You have to get behind it. Not only do you have to get behind it, you got to lean. You got to lean like you're doing a trust fall. You got to lean like you're doing a trust fall, but you can't lean too much or you're going to fall over. So it's like there's a perfect... Just like any sport, like someone's probably listening to this and thinking, well, duh, dude, it's a sport. But no, you're gonna, okay? There's like a perfect width at which your legs need to be. You then have to like have a tight core. What's that sound you make where you go, you always,
yeah.
Like locking everything in, getting your shoulder forward, leaning, being low enough to the ground that you are stabilized from this like very kind of intense lean.
And this freaking thing that's like this long.
Yes, but not being so low that when you go to move out of position, you have to like stand up and hop and stuff. So that's, oh gosh, it's just all this, it's so much physics and gosh, oh my God, it's crazy. Watching you and Jeremy shoot was like, obviously I appreciated it for how difficult it is from like a objective. I wasn't sitting there thinking I could do this. This is so easy. But like once I got behind it, oh my gosh, it's like learning to walk again. Like just today, this morning, we were in dry fire and that space she was talking about. We have a dope gym owner who's cool with us dry firing. He very much vetted us. We're very safe. We don't take live rounds, only dummy rounds. And we always check each other's chambers before we start. Anyway, there's a little disclaimer.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm sorry. We're Team USA. Obviously, we're pressing
around, obviously. But yeah, even this morning, the movement, like picture this, listener,
Do they have to picture it? Can you just show the video?
Oh, duh, yes. But if they're in their car, I don't want them to watch the video, not necessarily, but like also I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life.
Verbal description.
To the verbal description. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. So you're pointed out, But you need to take your long ass shotgun that's seated in your right shoulder in this case scenario. If you're left, just switch everything. And you need to go left and back, or even just back. So think about how you would orient your shotgun. Well, at this last ladies training camp, which was one of the coolest experiences ever with Lanny and Jay Lease, we practiced that. And Lena, like, you broke down the footwork for every type of movement. So think of like a star, like how you draw an asterisk. Mm-hmm. You broke down the footwork for each direction, from maybe the top of the asterisk completely vertical to back, and then back to front. It was so technical and so cool. And so we're doing this in dry fire this morning, and I literally felt like I was learning to walk again, or that I was going to trip over my own feet and then the shotgun, not sure which order. But it's like...
I mean, I watched a lady pole vault over a shotgun once.
Yeah, gosh.
Like, that's why it's one of the reasons I don't load this way, and I load this way.
Right. So she was showing, if you're just listening, shotgun upside down completely.
Yeah, how is there a dominant hand loading in your weak hand versus over the shoulder, grabbing your shells with your dominant hand and loading that way.
Yeah.
One shortens your shotgun and brings it up higher, up over your shoulder, and one drops it down to like waist level. And I saw a lady that dropped hers down waist level to go to load, and she was running on this natural terrain course, and her shotgun barrel dipped and just stabbed into this mound, and she proceeded to pole vault and just land like head first on the ground on the other side, and obviously was disqualified for session. Anyways, you know, the things you see, the things you learn.
Something just came to me. Okay, I was just thinking about this. So, you know how a lot of people don't like chemistry? Like, chemistry is a subject.
Yes. I do not like
there you go.
chemistry.
Literally, like, throw a rock at any crowd.
I love to throw rocks at crowds.
And you'll hit someone doesn't like chemistry.
Yeah.
I was trying to emphasize my point. All right, we're back. I love chemistry.
Yeah.
I loved it enough to do biochem at undergrad, in biochem research and all that stuff. And the reason I did was because of my high school chemistry teacher. She was a dope ass person. She made learning the subject fun. She'd found out a way to make it like apply to real life and like make it just something students with their attention span could tolerate. And I just loved her as a freaking person. And like, I would eat lunch in her room sometimes because I didn't want to sit in the big cafeteria and I was an introvert. Anyway, she was dope. And because of that, I went into college not so afraid of chemistry and like somehow just kind of took it in stride. I didn't really even understand why a lot of people hated it. And then they would tell me about their chem class. And, you know, all of that to say, shotgun is one of those things. I have you as a mentor, but I can't imagine if I hadn't. And then I let that thing beat me up over and over again, kind of like learning chemistry does. Like you kind of feel like it's mental torture. Same aspect with something like a shotgun that is so powerful. You got to get your whole body around it, and not just around it, but integrated into it. So think of putting your shoulder into a stock like you do on a rifle.
Oh, you have to insert your video. Her word for before her stage to get her locked in for the right mindset and the right technique is
McGregor. It was
Why?
right between McGregor and
Cowboy Cerrone.
Cowboy Cerrone, and he knocked him out with his shoulder. It took one round, right?
I don't know. I rewatched that. I just looked it up because you said that. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? And I watched that scene.
Yeah.
It's brutal. He freaking throws 3 shoulder punches.
Yeah.
It seems like punch with their shoulder.
Yeah.
It was like, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
And then you want him to fight because of it. So when you go into shotgun shooting, you have to think about that level of intensity for your actual shoulder to get up and forwards to fight against recoil.
Exactly.
And that is the intensity that you should have in shotgun. Like you're trying to freaking knock that thing out like you're fighting it.
Interesting. They must be doing some construction work on the other side of the apartment.
Oh.
Anyway, dang it, I don't have neighbors now. It's been empty, so all my like dry fires have been like Scary.
Anyway, I forgot what it was like to live in an apartment.
Yeah, you hear other people, not usually in this one. By the way, my studio is in my apartment. Anyway. I don't know why I felt the need to admit that. I don't know. Now you know, okay? They leave the podcast and they fucking rate it.
they're like,
Give me
I'm not subscribing. I can't believe that set is in her apartment.
That's so freaking funny. By the way, speaking of, if you've yet to rate the podcast, please go do that. Unless it's below 5, please don't do that. I think we're at like 4.9 and like 75 ratings or something. Yeah, I don't
We're
know.
at it, but like I'm a
you're part of She Shields. Dude, dude, isn't that crazy? That's how we met. First episode, Lena came on. I don't remember any of it, to the point that when we went out to dinner, I was like, do your parents shoot guns? And you were like, yeah. And I think it's because during the whole interview that you were on season 1, I was just like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And like everything went over my head. You would have to.
I think I wore a brown shirt.
I think you did too.
And I think that's about the extent.
Yeah, you were in your grandma's really pretty upholstered chair.
Yep, and in the blue office room that's now the closed room.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
That's all. I don't remember any of the words. I just remember sitting there and doing it.
You were so calm. I remember I was like, my energy is so chaotic, but you were just there like, and I was like, holy shit, I don't actually know how to interview people. She's gonna know I'm a fraud. She can read my mind. The thing I do with guest speakers to this day, if I feel not like nervous, but just like not ready, which is always, is I will almost like prolong our intro conversation too much and then be like, cool, are you ready to record? And they'll be like, yes. And then I held them hostage.
They're like, we're just hitting record? I thought we were done.
That's happened before. Did I ever tell you the Matt Larson story? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Bitch, I have to tell you this. Listen, Matt Larson, the guy who wrote the Are We Combatives?
Yeah.
I'm in my office, and this was back in Faba when I had a house, and I was over the garage in the summer. That shit got so hot. I had a stomach virus. We had to reschedule already because of this stomach virus. This was out both ends, BTW.
This is the one where you said it, right? And
yes.
You guys didn't mute it or something? Yeah.
Yes. So I had Caleb come in and help with the audio. And because he unplugged my mic, it went back to non-muted. And I said on the recording with him on the other side, I feel like I'm going to shit my pants. And then I saw him laughing and was like, dude, did you hear that? And then like proceeded to all of us just start. And I'm so glad he laughed. Can you imagine if he had just been like, and then I asked and then he was like, yeah, I did. And it was like weird about it. I would have literally never had a season 2. That would have been my last episode. I would have put out like a formal notice if he had.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
So bad. It's so bad. But he was so nice. And then we like honestly kind of broke the literal ice because.
How could it not?
My feet were in ice. Did I tell you that? I used to put my feet in a bucket of ice because we didn't want to turn the AC on and disrupt the audio. It was before like all this AI like podcast. Anyway. Just a little throwback there.
Well,
tell me something. Back to Shotgun.
And now we're in your studio in your apartment.
And it's nice and cool. And you got a blanket.
Yeah, my kids. No feet are in any ice.
Exactly. We don't got to do that anymore. For people listening who are interested, whiplash, back to Shotgun. In getting into Shotgun, how would you even get started? Because you just held my hand and were like, hey, you have only enough time for these 3 qualifiers and can go. And not everyone has a Lena Miculek. So like, how would someone even get started?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I would love to give you an easy path, but there is no easy path into Shotgun because there are not local or area or sectional shotgun matches regularly. So unless you want to get into multi-gun and it then be 1/3 of the guns that you shoot, that's the only place in the US that readily has something that's close to the style of shotgun shooting that we do, which is IPSC Shotgun.
Right.
And That's really it. This year there will be a handful of shotgun only matches scattered across the US as people prepare for Greece. But I almost guarantee you, like, by next year there'll probably be like 1 to 3 across the US that are like bigger, just outlaw shotgun matches.
Yeah.
And that'll be probably about it.
Yeah.
Locally, I've only shot. When I first moved to Utah, the very first club match I ever shot was a shotgun only one. Super randomly in like the snow at LTD.
How cool.
And yeah, it was awesome. But there's like not been another one since then that at least I've seen in the last 3 years. I've gone to steel challenges before and asked them if I could shoot my shotgun. I just bring them some extra paint because I knock all the paint off the target.
Yeah.
And I do it for no score. I did that before. But sadly, there's not a great place
Yeah.
because the gear is a bit nuanced. Action shotguns, there's not a whole lot of options. And then the options that are available, there's even less that come ready. You know, like if you're going to go down the Mossberg line, a lot of the aftermarket parts aren't available for it. And if you want to do port or loading work on it, you need to do that yourself, which I just got tired of doing on my guns myself because it's such a tedious thing. But I did learn how to do it a long time ago. So then you get like a Benelli or Beretta. And then why spend a few $1,000s on an awesome shotgun and another $500 on a belt and another, as many thousands as you can on shot shells, but then not be able to shoot it at matches.
Yeah.
So sadly, in the US, there's not a great path for it, but it is such a fun sport, and it's one that I view in my competitive shooting like portfolio as one that I do much more internationally.
Yeah.
So in the US, if I want to shoot handgun or I want to shoot like an AR platform or a PCC platform, I can do that anywhere almost every single weekend within a handful of hours.
Right.
But shotgun is one that's like more nuanced.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in, you gotta dive in to make it worth it. But if you're a dabbler, it's not a dabbler friendly. Like I only want to do it a couple times. It would be like, this is my passion, but also how do you find out if it's your passion if you can't do it?
True.
So it's just gonna kind of flounder for a while and I'll just be slightly sad about it, but that's all right.
Yeah.
When the Shotgun World Shoot rolls around, it opens up more opportunities to do it and gives a goal and gets to go international. And you haven't gotten to experience international competition, and it's really cool to connect with freaking 80 plus different countries. All there for like a shared passion to go freaking shoot their hearts out for 5 days across all these stages, and
Sounds amazing.
you get to meet all the ROs, and they're good.
Yeah.
Because they take a lot of pride in like being ROs in IPSC, and they are very fair in my mind, because I'm someone that very much so values that everybody has the same experience. Every stage, like the only thing I want and need my competition to do is make it the exact same for everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's an even playing field is like what we just should all just be hungry for, because we all want to perform our best, but if that's not there,
Absolutely.
what's the point? So I enjoy the strictness of IPSC because then it's the same.
Yeah.
Like I have this pet peeve about USPSA and start positions where like I went to some area match with Jeremy and I was watching the people on the squad in their start position and I was like, how your arms so short? Your arms go up so short, and you're like almost bent over to run. And like I was just like every single start position was completely different. And I don't know. I just am like,
was it supposed to be IPSC where you start?
No, it's just supposed to be, I don't know, a standardized start position.
I see what you're saying.
But when people are allowed to start in almost like a full sprint with their hands almost on their guns versus when it's not, I don't know, it's like, oh, people are like, oh, gotta play the game, gotta push it as far as you can. And I'm like, okay, but like, why don't we push like the shooting part?
Right.
Instead of us having like these little things that add up over time, because like matches are won and lost by fractions of points in seconds. So if you're someone that's like, well, consistency doesn't matter. Well, it's never mattered to you because you've never been striving for something that was like on the edge.
Right.
You know, like, how could it not matter? Anyways, random rant. I like IPSC because they're like, copy paste.
The context is very nice.
And then you get to just freaking do your best within that.
Yeah.
So.
And your scores mean so much more. Like it probably feels like a lot more gratifying when you do beat someone, when you know that everything was even and you're a true competitor at that very just top 1% level. So like this makes complete sense why you would feel that way. It's good to have a peek into that. This is so cool. Like I'm learning so much. I didn't know some of these shotgun things. Gosh. Okay, how cool. Okay, something I selfishly want to ask you, which I've never asked you before, but I know I'm wanting to branch into the defensive side of shotgun. And I've used USPSA. The reason I got into it was to help with my comfort level, just manipulating a pistol, moving with a pistol. Nothing was better than to challenge me that to exponentially grow. And so shotgun's been the same vibe. But I know a lot of shotguns are pump action. They have like shorter overall stocks for defensive purposes, like move around hallways and doors and stuff. And then the only other thing is things like the 590 Shockwave, I think, that are like completely stockless and marketed towards women. Holy shit. Like, is it just me or is that kind of insane? Like, wouldn't you want a stock for a woman? Like, have we talked about this?
No, but it's just the same mentality with people that would offer a gun to someone like a revolver and be like, here you go.
Yeah,
like
just
just
a
a point and shoot.
Yeah.
Because like if you're reverting to this is a point and shoot, people revert to like an actual point and shoot or like a revolver, when I think obviously some more education and some more experience into some platforms would lead to a purchase that someone was actually happy with.
Yes.
Versus throwing this very low bar blanket statement and product at them. Because you're correct, without a stock, how incredibly hard to wield something like that.
If you like hip shooting, like we did with Whammy, we did some hip shooting and like that was not easy.
No.
At all.
And these are competition rounds, not self-defense rounds. So they would be even more high-powered rounds than that. Which is why the front of that has that strap on it. So when it flies out of your hand, it doesn't come up and smack you right in the head.
I did not know that. And we're talking about if you don't know, we're talking about the 590 Shockwave.
It's got a pistol grip pump action. It can come in 12 or 20 gauge, but anything that's stockless like that, you better be able to hold on to it. But they know that people, and also you can just put some rounds in there. Shotgun ammo changes your overall shotgun experience so astronomically, it's hard to explain. In something that can look the exact same, but be loaded so much hotter.
Yeah.
And just freaking beat the absolute snot out of you.
Yeah.
And in the little pistol grip, something like that, it's brutal on you.
Gosh, I really want to shoot it. I haven't shot it yet, but I want to look into that. Or just any like pistol grip shotgun.
Yeah, when you use your competition loads, it'll be maintainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
That's also like me though. It's one of those things like.
Oh yeah, well you should be able to.
No, I should be
with all of your things, but it's one of those things. But like not the normal gun owner.
Average Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad we talked about that. And if you have any other wisdoms on shotgun for defensive purposes, feel free to throw it in here. I don't have any particular questions other than I was curious on like how some of these shotguns compared to like a competition shotgun. But yeah.
Well, they're as far as open gun and our bodyguard are apart from each other in the handgun perspective.
Yeah.
So in the world of shotgun, what we have and a self-defense shotgun are about as wide apart as you can get. But the parts that make a competition shotgun drastically need to start to be integrated into the world of tactical shotguns because red dots, porting to help with recoil, and easier loading ports are all things that make shooting and interacting with a shotgun better.
Yeah.
And those aspects could benefit all shotgun shooting and make it better, whether it were self-defense or not. So just like in the world of competition shooting, we see things come to it first to provide speed and accuracy and ease of shooting, and then they trickle down into the world of self-defense because that's where porting and extended magazines and optics first took hold, and then they integrate into self-defense. In the shotgun world, that integration hasn't happened yet. And it's a slower sector of shooting because I just told you there's no competitive shooting here. There's no industry or competitors or people trying to perform at high levels action-wise with shotguns to lead a lot of development. And the switches that we saw in handgun, I mean, everybody put an optic, porting, bigger mags on every handgun. And everybody's like, wow, amazing. Handguns are so much better now. Shotgun has just got to be the same. So if you do have a shotgun for self-defense purposes, thinking of trying to have those as part of your already existing platform, an optic, porting, easier loading, or more shells, or being skilled at loading, putting shells in your shotgun. These are all things that are relevant for competition shooting and also for self-defense. So there's some modifications that could be done there, and then that's also something to work on. Because if you do have a shotgun for self-defense, know that your biggest weakness is that you ain't got no shells.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Holy shit. Start with 14 and look how much we have to focus and train at getting shells in our gun because it's going to be out so quick.
Right.
And now you have a self-defense shotgun with a tube that maybe holds like 3, 4, maybe 5 rounds.
So would you load them individually? Is that what they do? I feel like I've seen that in movies. Like
they have this side, it's called a side saddle.
Yeah.
And they pull one shell at the time. So when I very first got into 3-gun, that was the original multi-gun form of loading.
Yeah.
Was shells off of the receiver or a wristband, one at a time, or you pull them off your stock. So let me tell you how many evolutions of loading that is back. We've got that one at a time. Then we evolved to 4 in our hands at a time, loading 1 at a time. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4.
What?
And then we went to twin loading, where we'd flip it and we'd pull 2 and we'd load it. So that's number 3. And now we quad load. We pull 4 from our hands and we go 2, 2.
What's next?
Bam. They tried 6. There was this one dude when quad loading first started. There was this one dude that made a triple. It was 6 of them stacked together. But only like 2 people in the whole world could like actually be able to get all 6 in their hand and do some loading, and never made it practically into competition because it wasn't about. It turned out not to be valid.
Yeah.
There haven't been any more evolutions in hand loading, but box-fed shotguns have been the evolution in the world of shotgun shooting.
Yeah.
Whereas in the last really like 5 to 8 years, more manufacturers of them have come out, more aftermarket parts, more custom shops, and they're the largest division in IPSC Shotgun. And I haven't looked at the overall roster, but it might be like the biggest division of like U.S. delegates that we're also sending. So box-fed shotguns are the evolution, I think, in the shotgun shooting as a whole.
Yeah.
And Yeah. So for tactical shotguns, the one at a time, it's so many steps back. It's like, man, why haven't we come up with a better loading system for self-defense? Because if there was a time that it was more important to get freaking shells in your gun, it'd be one where your life's on the line and freaking doing one at a time.
Dude, I can already see the horror movie scene.
Lame.
But isn't like, not but, is one of the issues with that, of course, the like length of the mag tube and then kind of maneuvering around hallways and rooms. It's, you know.
Well, it would have to be, if we can't add more shells to the gun for overall compact, then how can we add more shells to the gun that we can quickly load? The only options that are available in the world of tactics are the pull and peck one at a time.
Yeah.
Pull one shell, load it. Pull one shell, load it.
Oh my
Pull
God.
one shell,
We should
load
do
it.
a video.
A flame. You gotta put that.
Yeah. We should get like a defensive shotgun and like have to load it and like do some timing drill where it's like, or like it's a target that's moving towards you and you only have so much time.
Have you seen the charging one? Tennille had the charging target.
Oh, no way.
But that thing freaking
Oh, I bet it.
be on top of the
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Let's do that. Yeah, that'd be so fun. Is it? It's obviously paper, yeah. Oh. How does that work?
just I think it flips down and then it actually hits you. Oh, it charges forward and then you stand to where like it doesn't. Well, I mean, I don't want it to hit me.
No, I don't.
But you could if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I've been hit by USPSA swingers when you're resetting. And yeah, someone definitely said, hey, don't stand on that side, it'll hit you. And I said, good point. And then bam. Exactly.
Oh, you mean like that?
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah.
Got clocked. Got my shit clocked.
Yeah, it happens
So
to the best
funny.
of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh.
You gotta get a popper to fall on you at least once.
Yeah.
You gotta have a swing. You gotta get hit by one of those. Yeah. It's just part of the playing of the game.
Absolutely. Incredible.
Yeah.
Shotgun's been one of the most fun things in my lifetime that I've done. Like, it's been nice to USPSA. I've gone through so many like not like love-hate periods, but just lost my why for a while. You know, I did it for like social media at one point only, and so I was like, this is lame. Now I'm actually like I'm loving the technique, and that came from shotgun. Like actually having to be technical stages and focus the way that you taught me, and like you had me journal my procedure when I walk up to a stage and like read the stage briefing and go and change out my choke and like all these different things. For example, getting back into USPSA after that made me realize how much I was missing out on like taking it seriously. I just made B class, which is exciting. So that's finally there. It feels like getting your blue belt after you've been in jiu-jitsu for like 6 years. And everyone's like, dude, I thought you were already in blue belt. I'm also blue belt. Anyway, but shotguns made me really appreciate that side.
For blue belt.
That's true. I don't want to be a purple belt because then all my crap has to turn to purple and I have so much blue. It doesn't work for my schedule.
It clashes with my eyes.
It does.
It needs to stay in the blue.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, freaking cool. This has been such an awesome episode. And don't go anywhere yet. Listen up. Just kidding. I would love to know if you're ready to wrap. If you have any other things you want to share, I'm sure I'll listen to this later and be like, damn, I wish I would have talked about this. But
how about this? You should follow along on this IPSC shotgun journey. I'm sharing a bit of it on my YouTube channel. And then once we go to the actual world shoot, there'll be an episode every day updating that. You got to follow Sofia's journey as it's her very first time to the world stage, chasing that down. So that's exciting. And gosh, also come and support us. Us little shotgun shooters. We're such a little minority. Nobody really likes us, but we're cool and we like it. So come and cheer us on. Yes. And then also the rest of the U.S. delegation, because we're still Team USA and we're going to go kick some booty over there. Yeah. And if you don't know who to cheer for, well, we'll show them somewhere. Put the like roster of all the people that are going for the U.S.
I like
That'd
it.
Be nice.
Brendan, let's pop up the roster here.
Congratulations, everybody who's made this list. Also, pat on the back.
Yes.
Kudos to you.
Yes.
How fun.
Yeah.
You should have a lot of pride in yourself for getting to go and represent on the world stage. Yes. And know that you've got to show up today and every day in between so that that future you that has to step into that first box is confident. And the only way that that can happen is how you choose to spend your time between now and then. I often think of, if I need motivation, I think of that future me because we already signed them up. They're already going to go and stand in that box. So how do I want to feel in that box? And I'm the one in charge of that with my daily actions as I build up to it. So know that you want to show up confident. So show up for yourself today and tomorrow and every day in between, because how long do we have? Please hold.
Lena's got a countdowner. She's got a countdown for some awesome stuff.
I do. I've got it all. We are 122 days away, which you might be like, oh,
that's forever.
That's freaking forever. I'm sorry. You're going to the world stage.
Bro, is that 4 months?
You
I've got to renew my passport. All right, guys.
You gotta show up.
I'll be right back. I'm going to just go quickly renew it online. And we'll come back for part 2.
Okay, part 2. See you then.
Yeah, okay, bye. For those of you interested in part 2, turn on the notification bell because we don't want you to forget. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. And if you haven't subscribed to She Shield on YouTube, we might be small, but we're mighty. We've got like 300, 400 subscribers, maybe more than that. I haven't checked in a while. What if it's 1,200? I feel like I maybe saw that. I don't know. Go see what the following is right now.
Go let us know.
Well,
Comment down below what the following is so that we know.
well,
I know to exist on the internet. Freaking be oblivious. I'm the only way that I've found
same
to exist.
I'm gonna check it in between this one, but go there to watch the actual video footage of what we're about to react to. It'll be a little bit of a shorter episode, but I'm so excited. All right, guys, stay safe and stay vigilant.